All right, guys, all right, let's start another great show. And today's show will be bigger, will be better, because I love green screen. I love to see reaction of the crypto market. Bitcoin didn't see $100,000 coming, just surpass it. Bitcoin skyrocketing like all the market. Bitcoin right now, $102,000, almost 6% up. Ethereum, almost more than 20% up today. Sui, almost 20%. All the market is green. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But when we see the chart of Bitcoin, let's look to the chart here. What can we see? All the major resistances is coming to an end. We just have here the last resistance in the price of Bitcoin. Rect Capital just said Bitcoin has almost completely recovered from its first price discovery correction. Yes, that's right. Bitcoin skyrocketing after November when Trump won the election. We topped here and we have a major correction. But now looks like we are following the same pattern all this bull market. And I must say, we're big bears who were calling for the bear market. But I need to say something. I have to confess something to you. I was worried too. I wasn't calling for a bear market, but I was worried when Bitcoin just fell to 7K area. That hurts me a lot, and I was worried. But now just recovered. And do as CZ says, Bitcoin is easy. Don't panic sell. Just don't panic sell. So it's easy. Just buy Bitcoin, wait, don't sell in red days, and wait because the green days will come. Will come the green days. Let's continue because $1.1 trillion Standard Chartered predicts Bitcoin could surpass its all-time high soon. I think too. It's very, very close to the all-time high. Let's see the next few days if this come to be true. And Michael Saylor said, you can still buy Bitcoin for less than $0.2 million. Easy, boss, easy, because we have a long way to go. But what got the market excited yesterday? Yesterday we had FOMC meeting and the interest rates remains unchanged. Powell, in my opinion, was hawkish and we will talk about the subject later in the show. But what really got the market excited was this. Trump says trade deal with big, highly respected country to be announced tomorrow. And this make the market react very, very well. And in today's video, we will talk about Fed, this first trade deal, and of course Bitcoin, because Bitcoin just made history. Bitcoin will be part of the reserve of an American state. And my name is Kyle, and I'm a Coinex ambassador. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. So let's put the show on the road. And our first topic is Fed. We had the FOMC meeting who leaves interest rates unchanged. Now the interest rate keeps 4.5%. Last time Fed cut rates was in November, but we can see here the CPI, the inflation of USA in December was 3% and now is 2.4% in the last data we have. So we can see here that the interest rate keeps unchanged, but the inflation is coming down. But the Fed sent a harsh message to the Trump administration. Let's see.
If the large increases in tariffs that have been announced are sustained, they're likely to generate a rise in inflation, a slowdown in economic growth, and an increase in unemployment. The effects on inflation could be short-lived, reflecting a one-time shift in the price level. It is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent. Avoiding that outcome will depend on the size of the tariff effects, on how long it takes for them to pass through fully into prices, and ultimately on keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored.
So basically, what we have here is the Fed's worst nightmare, the stagflation. So we have a falling inflation. We can see all the data showing that. We have unemployment rate in a good place. Last week we had these readings and it is in a good place. And Fed could cut interest rates, but why he is not doing that? So now enters Trump. When Trump put tariffs, in other words, it brought uncertainty to the market. And now Powell cannot cut interest rates because makes the future unpredictable. And the Fed will not make a move without knowing for sure what will happen. Fed cannot cut rates because it is impossible to know the result of the tariffs tomorrow, let alone in the long term. Trump has reassured the market lately by saying he won't remove Fed Chair Powell, but he couldn't help himself and posted, "Too late, Jerome Powell is a fool who doesn't have a clue. Other than that, I like him very much." So, despite of all these things, he liked very much Jerome Powell. Oil and energy way down, almost all costs, groceries and eggs down, virtually no inflation. Tariff money pouring to the US, the exact opposite of too late, enjoy. So, Trump don't agree with the Fed policies, and he has an explanation why the Fed chair Powell doesn't do what he wants or what is good for the country in Trump's opinion. Let's see.
The chairman of the Fed, Jerome, if he would lower interest rates like China did, like I think UK did, but like numerous other countries have done, it's like jet fuel. It'd be great. But he doesn't want to do it. I think he doesn't want to do it. Probably he's not in love with me. I think that's right. It's sort of a crazy reason, but that's the way life is. Anybody in his position would be learning. It would be like jet fuel. But even without that, we're doing well.
It's amazing. Trump has a simple explanation why the Fed don't cut rates. Trump said Jerome Powell, Fed chair, won't cut rates because he's not in love with me. And this is amazing. This is the best explanation ever. And I love to watch all interviews, Trump's interviews, because always these wonderful things come up. And now we have to pick a side. Side Trump or side Powell. In one hand, we see that Powell is looking to the market and see that inflation can come up again. And he will have a lot of problems. But on the other hand, Trump saw in the market an imbalance in the trade, and he's trying to fix that. The time was right to do that. I see Trump shot in his own feet, shot in his own foot, and now we need to face the consequences of that. So, which side are you in? Write down in the comments below. And the probabilities of a rate cut in the next Fed meeting isn't good for Trump. Just 16% of the market thinks Fed will cut rate. Even so, the market is in grid. 1 week ago, the market was in fear and now come back to grid. And we just saw that Fed didn't help it at all. The Fed, in my opinion, was very hawkish. Not very hawkish, but hawkish. He needs more data to see if he will cut rates and things like that. But the market come back to grid, and let's see the charts. So let's do this analysis. S&P 500. First, the price of S&P is in this area over here. We just break this trend line. Every time we touch this trend line was a resistance, but now we just break. We overcome this area. Second, here we have 50 MA. Here we have the death cross, but now we just above the 50 MA. This is a good sign. Two good signs. Breaking trend line and above MA 50. After that, we can see S&P is recovering, signs of recovery, but we have a lot of resistances through the way. First, if we put Fibonacci levels, we can see here that we are on 0.61. This is a strong Fibonacci levels of resistance. All this area here is a resistance. In price, we can see this area over here. This is support through the way after become resistance. So if the price come back to this area, of course, we will face resistance again. And we have here this MA 200 MA, and this 200 MA, it's an important level of the market and is above the price. So we have lots of resistances through the way if you want to see S&P again breaking top. But if we break this area of resistance here, 580, we can see the price coming back and retest the top of the market. On the other hand, if this will be a resistance, a strong resistance, we can again coming back in the market. And this area over here that we had our last congestion would be the support of the price if the price is still wants to go higher. And we can see in the chart that we can form over here like a head and shoulder pattern. Let's see if this will happen. And maybe we have more room to keep going up. We can see in the RSI, daily RSI, we are here in this area. 56 is a bullish area, this area over here. We are not in this exhaustion area. So we have a lot of room to keep going up if the price, of course, wants to keep going. However, uncertainty persists in the market, especially in the monetary policy and, of course, in the trade agreements. So I will maintain a cautious approach in relation to S&P. Now let's see what led the market to this wonderful rise. White House posted what Donald Trump posted in his Truth Social. Big news conference tomorrow morning. The Oval Office concerning a major trade deal with representatives of a big and highly respected country, the first of many. More than 1 million people saw this post over here. In this day, we didn't know what country it was, but today we know. The agreement with the United Kingdom is a full and comprehensive one that will cement the relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom for many years to come. Because of our long time history, the allegiance together, it is a great honor to have the United Kingdom as our first announcement. Many other deals which are in a serious stage of negotiation to follow. So this is a great news because all the troubles in the market come from the Trump's tariffs. And now we are trying to fix this thing. And Trump reached his first agreement. So President Trump officially announced his new trade deal with the United Kingdom. And Trump came to his Truth Social to point out the benefits of this agreement. First, let's recap. Here we have that chart that Trump showed the world. Look here, they are charging us a lot. This line over here, they are charging us 10%. So we will charge back 10%. But let's recap. When a country don't have a surplus with United States, every country receives a tariff, right? So if a country don't have a surplus with United States, they will charge in a minimum amount of 10%. Let's keep this in mind. And we can see here, United Kingdom trade deal. What they do now is United States have now new market access of $5 billion in exports. So United States will export to United Kingdom 5 billion. And tariff revenue, 6 billion external revenue. This tariff means that this 10% will not come down. This 10% maintain. And who pays the tariff? American citizen. This is the problem. If the agreements that United States are doing with the world keep the tariffs, United citizens from United States, they will pay this. It's not another country paying this bill. This is American citizen. This revenue comes from America. And now we can see here UK tariffs were 5.1% and now come down to 1.8%. This is a victory. And US tariffs were 3.4% and now it's 10%. So United States won this battle. Unprecedented access to UK market, ethanol, beef, cereal, fruits, vegetables, a lot of things here. So this is the trade deal that Trump and his team make with United Kingdom. Is it good? Guys, I don't know if you saw this graphic once, but here you can see US trade deficits by country 2025. Let's go down the page And here we can see US trade deficits by country. Who have more surplus with United States, or United States are losing money to which country? And the biggest one, the trade deficit, is with China. And United States imports from China $400 billion. $400 billion in goods enters in United States. But what United States sells, exports to China? Just $131 billion. So we have here the trade balance negative for United States, $207 billion. This is the biggest one. This is the biggest one in the world. After, we can see Mexico, Vietnam, Ireland, Germany, Taiwan, where we can find United Kingdom here. Let's see if you can find United Kingdom, if it's an important trade deficit here. So this is the countries that United States have the deficit. Let's coming down, down, down. Oh, so many countries, but where is United Kingdom? We still don't see United Kingdom over here. So now we are seeing the countries that United States have surplus in the trade balance. And surplus, right? United States exports more than imports from that country. Let's coming down, down. What can we see here? Where is United Kingdom? Don't hear yet. You can see here. United Kingdom is losing for USA $10 billion. So United States make $10 billion in the trade deal with in the actual trades with United Kingdom. I didn't understand why they come to the media and say this is the biggest trade deal. This is not unimportant. This is not the biggest one, not even close. And United States already have a surplus with United Kingdom. So what changes in that? And we can see here that 10% tariff still remain this, but the deal has reduced or removed tariffs on some of the UK's exports, including cars, steel, and aluminum. But what UK exports for United States? Let's see here. Surpluses and services explain why UK might avoid Trump's tariffs. Right, we can see here. What do they trade? British data shows services now account for the bulk of the UK's transatlantic trade. Services fall outside of the kind of tariffs that Trump is planning to exact on goods trade with other countries. Let's see here. This place over here. Britain now exports twice as much in services to the United States as it does in goods, according to Coinex data. Good exports here, just this place over here, and service exports, this is a lot. This is a good trade deal. This is what the world would like to see. I was hoping Trump and his team come to the world and say, we just finished a big agreement with this country that has a great surplus against us. Now we change the game, but that's not happened. But the markets was already happy. The agreements will probably start to come out.
How close are you to more deals, and when do you expect the next to be announced?
Well, very close. We have numerous deals. I know Howard's going back. As soon as this is finished, your press conference, he's got numerous. And Scott, who's right over here, who's fantastic, by the way. You were great on television this morning. I watched you. That was you gave them a little lesson in the world and economics. But Scott's going to be going to Switzerland, meeting with China. And you know, they very much want to make a deal.
The most important country is China. That's the place where United States has the biggest trade deficit. And this make the market happier, because when we saw the news that US Treasury Secretary Bessent will meet with China's lead economic officials this week, the market starts to climb up. And we can see here, the China Embassy in the United States just posted it. China has decided to agree to engage with the United States side. and they will talk in Switzerland from May 9 to 12. So, in the first place, I cannot see an agreement in just 3 days of talk. We saw UK and United States talking more than 4 weeks. So this is a tiny space to make a deal, but the markets already like that. And we can see here that Secretary Bessent says trade talks with China will begin Saturday. Bessent says talks are beginning and not advanced talks. So this is very important. This is very important because we will not have the trade deal with China this week. The market liked the idea, but we will not have that. And we can see City analyst says both sides have reason to de-escalate, but the progress will be slow and uneven. Some tariffs may be lifted in the next 6 months to open broader talks. City sees a sustainable trade deal needing 20-25% tariffs, but real progress may not come until after US midterms. So this is very hard. This is a very hard trade deal. And the market liked something that Trump said today. Let's see.
You better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before. That's a very important element of all of this. You know, if we get that, if you don't, and the Democrats are fighting it only.
Trump actually said, you better go out and buy stocks now. Wall Street is probably doing a front run with this news. We just saw the agreement with China is very hard to happen now, but a pause could happen. So Trump is saying you better go out and buy stocks. This could be the trigger for the next market soar. Let's see. Historic. New Hampshire Governor Kelly Ayotte officially signs bill into law allowing the state to invest in Bitcoin. We are expecting a strategic reserve from the United States government, but New Hampshire come out on top. Congratulations. Congratulations. Incredible news for the future of Bitcoin. New Hampshire becomes first state to pass a strategic Bitcoin reserve bill into law. Landmark win built on Satoshi's actions model. Policies establish blueprints for the nation. This is very, very nice. What's the law says? Let's the treasury buy Bitcoin. So, authorize reserve purchase of Bitcoin or any digital asset with a market cap above $500 billion. Today, just Bitcoin has more than 5 billion. Bitcoin has almost $2 trillion. 5 billion, no one. And we can see here, caps holding at 5% of total states funds. That's very nice. 5% of all states funds. And take effect 6 days after passes. So, the law enters in 6 days. A clear runway to activate the reserve and begin stacking sets. And there's more. Now we have the second state to buy Bitcoin, less than 48 hours after the first one. So here we can see Arizona becomes second state to pass a strategic Bitcoin reserve bill into law. And all these things is made by the importer and his enterprise Satoshi Act Fund, CEO and co-founder of Satoshi Act Fund. Unlocking Bitcoin potential, 8 bills into law on offense for Bitcoin. Congratulations to Satoshi Action Fund. Congratulations to the governors and the people who made this become a reality. 2 states in the United States. Now we have more 80 states to become this into law. And I think will be a hush to buy Bitcoin in some day into the future. This is historic. This is big, very, very big. So I'm very happy with that. I hope more states become this into law. But not everyone in the world wants Bitcoin. UK to ban retail investors from buying Bitcoin and crypto with credit cards. More from UK. UK Treasury's Economic Secretary Emma Reynolds rolls out national Bitcoin reserve. Says it's not appropriate for our market. I don't know what to tell these people, but if you don't believe it or don't get it, I don't have the time to try to convince you. Sorry for you. Satoshi Nakamoto said that 15 years ago, and this actually is a reality. Bitwise CEO Hunter Horsley says Bitcoin is by far the scarcest store of value in the world today. I hope everyone have the same opinion about Bitcoin as CEO Hunter Horsley, but Bitcoin ETFs come back to buys, and we can see here the last 2 weeks we have a lot of buys in ETF Bitcoin, and here we can see the total cumulative flow almost hitting a new record again, and we can see BlackRock Feelings reveals over $5.4 billion in Bitcoin related holdings. BlackRock have his own ETF, Fidelity ETF, Grayscale again, have MicroStrategy stocks, have Riot Marathon, and companies that works with Bitcoin miners. So they want Bitcoin. Do you want Bitcoin? And we can see here, Strategy CEO Michael Saylor says will be 700 Bitcoin treasury companies next year. Michael Saylor says Bitcoin treasury companies are getting exponentially more powerful. And he continues, Saylor tells Saudi, UAE, and Kuwaiti sovereign wealth funds to buy as much Bitcoin as they can. But until that happens, let's try a faucet. Early Bitcoin entrepreneur Charlie Schran launches 21million.com to revive Bitcoin Faucet, a website that rewards users with Bitcoin for completing CAPTCHA tasks. The site mimics the original Bitcoin CAPTCHA page created by Gavin Anderson in 2010. Remember, this faucet in the past gives you 5 Bitcoin just to answer, to resume this CAPTCHA over here. Insane. So let's see this site 21 million now. I enter in the site right now to get free Bitcoin, but we don't have Bitcoin available right now. 0 Bitcoin available. Please, Mr. Charlie Schran, just upload Bitcoin here because I want to get some. But before we look at the Bitcoin chart, I invite you to Coinex. It's a very simple and easy platform. As the largest number of cryptos, values your privacy, and does not require KYC. First, Fear and Greed Index. We come back to the grid. Market is in grid right now, 73. It's a great area of grid. Please don't be so greedy. Don't move into FOMO. It's not healthy. But when we see the chart of Bitcoin, what can we see here? Positive signs. Let's start. First, we have a structure in the chart. Let's see the resistance that Bitcoin overcome in these few days. First, we can put here fixed range. What means this fixed range? In all this area over here that I took into the graphic, see, this is the fixed range. The most traded area was here. And we see this red line, it means POC, point of control. And this becomes a resistance when the price is down the line and becomes a support if the price is above this line. So we now break through this resistance area of $96, very $96K, very strong. And we have one resistance in price, let's put here, and matches with the point of control of fixed range. What we see here, the Fibonacci levels. Let's erase fixed range and put just Fibonacci levels. So this leg over here, we have the retracement. And now the price in this retracement overcome level 0.61 of Fibonacci. This is a resistance. We break through level of 97, 98K, which coincide with these Fibonacci levels. And we have more positive signs. Let's erase over here and put the moving average. We let above the under the price 200 EMA, 200 MA, and 50 MA. So we have so positive signs here. Don't have much more resistances to the price of Bitcoin. But now we are facing a critical zone between 102K and 104K. This region is important previous highs. We here have a lot of highs. So here is the resistance of Bitcoin. Let's see more one indicator to you have the best comprehension of the chart of Bitcoin. The RSI is in a overbought situation here, so it's exhausted. It's a exhausted market, which requires some attention for possible short-term correction. So the indicator could erase down, could come down to erase this exhaustion, and the price of Bitcoin could come down in the short term. RSI broke through up on this area over here, this descending trend line, this trend line over here. When we break through this area, RSI breakthrough, showing us the strong momentum of Bitcoin, but already now is a zone of caution. The 104K area is a critical resistance because we have multiple touches in this area in the past. So possible trap for late buyers now. Anyway, be very cautious at this time. We already gone up very hard, and short-term corrections is natural to the price of Bitcoin. And that's it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed as much as I am. Next week, I will come back here to talk more with you. So don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Bye.